Hello, everybody. We're back here at the Blind Social Center, 4955 Broadway, right in the heart of Gary, where the directors are Mr. and Mrs. Blair. Again, we're still excited and about what's going on here at the Blind Social Center. And one thing we didn't do in the previous video, we're going to allow Miss Georgia to have her own personal time to tell us about all that she's done here for her 8 weeks, bi-weekly Fridays here at the Blind Social Center with our patrons and with the We Are Art. Miss Georgia, can you kind of tell us how have things been for you for the 8 weeks? And what have you guys done? What have you produced?
Well, over the 8-week period, first, I've taught for 14 years, children from 2 years old and people all the way up to 80 years old. So teaching part is not difficult. So I spent about 35 hours beforehand studying, like literally, blind individuals and how their brains function, and is it the question, can you teach them, can they do this? And then I stumbled across, there are multiple well-known artists. One of them was a gentleman by the name of Sargy Man, for instance, a British guy. And he became blind sort of midway through his life, and he had been an artist before, and he created, as you can see with the patrons right now, he created some really amazing things. And a lot of the techniques that I watched that he was using, it was using your hands. And what we think about is, if you're going to draw and you're sighted, well, I look at what you look like and I can discern the shape, the size, what I have to do. But for patrons that are visually impaired or blind, their brains work in a different way. They still can do exactly what I can do, they just do it differently. So they can use their other senses, like feeling that with their hands and, sense. Every sort of other sense they have, they can utilize and create exactly what I'm creating. And what I saw in the artists that are worldwide, there were several artists, one from China, one from Arabic countries, and all over the place, America. And what I noticed with all their paintings is they had these very large paintings, not small like we did today, but they had huge paintings, and they used various ways to create their work, but all of their work was dynamic and bold and brilliant and captured exactly what you want to see. As we can see here, for instance, with Miss Ella, she wanted sort of like this table that's all fancy, and the little redheaded child is peeking over the edge, That's all what they've created. It's in their mind, and they've translated it on the paper. One of the beautiful things about art is that there is no right or wrong. There's certain ways that you can use techniques, but you can craft whatever you want to craft to create art that works for you. When I watched Sargy Man paint, he had like a gummy putty, and he would use his hands, but he would also put that putty on different areas of the canvas as he was painting, the same way that I used my hands. So he was using different unique techniques that he could capture what he wanted to capture, and he didn't need somebody there helping him. He did it completely on his own, and they're doing it completely on their own. They've had a little bit of my teaching, but they all have natural aptitude and ability, and I really hope that everybody out there will be inspired by this and will donate, because if you donate to the center money, supplies, because often when I ask at Fox Gallery, people will show up and give me paint and paintbrushes and extra canvases or paper, things of that nature. That makes all the difference in the world, and there's such a variety of art that we didn't even tackle. Ceramics would be an amazing thing that they could experience. The same way that the fiber art sculptures, with ceramics, it's the same thing. I mean, you're creating, you let it dry, then, we fire it, we glaze it. And sight is not necessarily required. Tactile works easily. And even if like when we sat down and I was, okay, we're going to paint, I was a little tentative about it, but I have been in awe of the patrons from day one, because I've taught for 14 years and I've seen a lot of people, adults to children, and they're tentative and they're nervous and they're scared to make the mark. They just dive right in with such a joyous enthusiasm, and they are happy and talking and laughing the whole way through. And it blows my mind because they are doing exactly what they should be doing and need to do. And in art, teaching, that's the hardest thing, is to teach you to be creative. They're already creative.
You got that right.
Already creative. The gift
that
is already here.
You got that
So
right.
the gift, the seed is planted, somebody needs to step forward and help it to grow so that more can happen. Because when my paintings come here, along with their paintings, they will now have their own gallery, their own art gallery that is specifically designed for the blind and visually impaired. And that can keep growing and growing if they have the opportunity to continue to grow in their skills. Because each of them may be more adept at, one of them might be amazing at ceramics, another might be just the most, I mean, I can tell you with painting, they're amazing. And we use creative little techniques like painter's tape so that we could block off what was dry. There's nothing that limits them. The sky is the limit, and they can break the glass ceiling. We just need the supplies.
All righty, you heard it right here at the Blind Social Center again. I think you hit on the fiber art. Can you explain that a little bit? What did you do as far as producing the objects? What did you use?
This is the most simple thing you could ever think of. String or yarn, a balloon, and Elmer's glue.
The process?
And literally, the patrons, we took a little box so that we could contain the balloon, because when you work on these, once you put the balloon and you put a little portion, it wants to flip over, which is why Miss Eunice loved it so much, because it had a mind of its own. But once it gets more filled up, and you know, some of my creations aren't here, but what's amazing is each of them tackled it in a different way. And you know, I'm in awe. They're beautiful. And I have fiber art sculptures right now that are 25 years old, 15 years old, and 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
So they last. You just don't get them wet, you don't burn them, but it can last. And this is something too that the patrons can continue to experience for years to come, and other patrons can come in and they can feel this and be empowered and know that they too can dream this. You don't think anything is possible until you have the opportunity, and the opportunity is critical. So we have to open the door and give them the opportunity. They're not disabled, they're differently abled, and
you got that right.
they've achieved a lot. In only 8 weeks, they've achieved a lot. And they've done it with such a beautiful passion. And I've had multiple times that I tried not to cry, because I was just
Girl, don't break it down.
And it moves me, because you know what, they're just free. They're just freely expressing themselves, and whatever they envision or dream, like it's coming out. It's being created, and I'm in awe. I'm in awe. You know, I'm just in awe.
Now, what did we, Hollywood, tell us about your painting, was it Mona Lisa?
Whiskers
Mother.
Yeah, what gave you that idea?
Well, you know, I was thinking of a child, because you know how inquisitive they are. And I was thinking of them looking at the table and wondering, now what's on this table? You know, what is this table? What is it doing? What's all this art going on? And so, you know, it just tells you about the inquisitiveness of little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, I want to talk to, who did the eye? Let's talk to the eye lady, eye person. Do we have that out here?
Yes, it's right here, actually.
Can you tell us about what struck your mind on having the eye, and did you name it?
Well, I said, I'm watching you.
I'm watching.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Sure.
if I had it in my home, I would put it up so my grandkids could see it.
Well, we're gonna make sure you have a copy of that, so it can go up in your room.
I am watching you.
Alrighty, and then we had Miss Kathy. One of her specialties was this one right here.
Creative design.
Who had Grandma's hand?
That's Kathy.
Kathy and I both had.
Oh, yeah, that's Eunice's as well.
Okay, we'll do this one for
No,
Kathy. Hey Kathy, what got you right here with this image with the different colors?
The
and-
different colors, the little squiggly lines and stuff. I
Mhm.
don't know. I thought about one of the painters. I don't know if it was Van Gogh or one of those guys that love all the little squiggly lines and
Van Gogh.
different
Yeah.
colors and splashes of this and splashes of that. So that was on my mind at the time.
Okay. Okay, Miss
I know
Wanda,
Van Gogh, though.
tell me about the tree.
Oh, what was on my mind was when George Washington said he could not tell a lie. When he shot down a cherry tree. You know, and it got me thinking about the cherry blossoms and stuff down south and stuff. So I wanted to make a cherry blossom tree.
Alrighty, I tell you, creative minds. Okay. Let's see. You know what? In art, there are so many ways to express it. It could be on canvas, it could be with a balloon. But let me tell you about one of the head artists of our center, and that would be Mr. Blair. Now, he didn't put anything on canvas, but he sure has made an appearance with these chairs. He did a great job. We're going to put him on market for reupholstering. Can you get up so I can show this one chair right here that he's working on? He's actually working this. This is a work in progress. He has already taken something that was old, which was the cushions and the backing of the cushions of the chair, and he has reupholstered it. And he has a little bit ways to go because he has another lady in waiting to be dressed up in her seat and her back. And like I said, art comes in all kind of shapes, forms, and fashion. And Mr. Blair here, I got the camera on him, and he's chilling, laid over to the left a little bit. But at any rate, he has done some reupholstering. I'm going to show you a couple of these chairs over here that are two ladies in waiting, and they're waiting to be redone to match their cousins. One of the cousins is in Mrs. Blair's office, and one of the cousins is in my office that has already been done. So he's taken the design that's squiggly and green and with a little light textures in it, and he has changed the color and changed the seating, and now those seats are black and they're fantastic. Okay, I was trying to stretch my time because I was waiting on Miss Blair because we had one more presentation without making several videos. So, but I'll be back.